Hello! Welcome, everyone! It is Friday, and that means it's time for Muppin Sewing Emporium. How are you doing today? Gosh, my hair is like wild looking today. What is happening? How are you doing this fine, lovely Friday night? It is I, Muppin, your host tonight on Muppin Sewing Emporium here in beautiful downtown Paducah, Kentucky. We are live to you through the power of the internet. Hopefully, you are out there doing well. I hope. If you're out there and you can hear me, give me a thumbs up so I know that this crazy thing is working. My friends, it's been a very quiet week here in the shop. I don't know why. But we do have some new things to show you. We got 2 new bundles of fabric in, and I can't wait to show you. How are you? Hope you're doing okay. And I'm like out of sweet tea, and I'm mad about it. I had some tea in here with me, and it's all gone. It's very sad. It's a very sad day. I did power through all of the episodes of Bridgerton. So I am all caught up on the new season of Bridgerton. How are you? Hopefully you are catching up on it as well. Let's take a look at this. We've got some fabric. Isn't that pretty? This bundle is a bundle of Tula Pink. This is her Wildflowers collection. So, as you can see, lovely little rainbow happening here. Great for that wonderful little pop of color project you have been looking for. We've got some that are like, sort of soft, and then we've got some that are gonna pop your eyeballs, which I love. Okay, so you've got like a nice, really pretty collection here. Lovely rainbows. Oh, what? All right, it's not working then. Let me fix it. Let me fix that for you. It's always fun and games until the technology stops, as I like to say. Let's see if we can get this happening. I always have to then like take the video off, put it back on. So we'll see what happens here. Let's see. We also have to make sure that it is right side up. So let me pop over to the Instagrams to make sure this is working. Woo. All right. Let's see. It looks like it is working finally. Yay! Fun and game. Crisis averted. Thank you. Beverly's here. Welcome. Jody, thank you for letting me know. It's always something, as I like to say, until the technology stops. Look at how pretty that is. We've got some beautiful fabric today. This is what I've been talking about. So, this is Tula Pink's Wildflowers, and this little spot here, okay, here's the colors. I was saying these ones are kind of soft and pretty, and these ones will melt your face. I kind of dig it. Look at how fun these are. So as far as like Tula Pink fabrics go, these are very they're very much like one kind going on here. Okay, you have just the one style. It's her wildflowers, and you can see. But wouldn't these be pretty with like a gray or a black background? And these just popped, pop of color. Isn't that pretty? I think these are great. These are in the shop right now. Fat quarter bundle, $44. There are 11 pieces here. So 11 fat quarters, really fun stuff. I'm very happy that we got these in this week. These are brand new, just came in. Get them while you can. And then the other thing that came in were these Tim Holtz Eclectic Elements bundles. And I am going to undo this one just because it is that good that you really kind of need to see these fabrics. So Tim Holtz has kind of a steampunk, scrapbooky kind of aesthetic, and I am very kind of into this particular line. So it's funny that he gets his own ribbon, where even Tula Pink doesn't get her own ribbon. So like, what is up with that? What is up with that? Is that a man versus woman thing? I don't even know. Okay, so as you can see, look at these pretties. Okay, look at that. Oh, so pretty. Yum, 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 yum. I love this kind of stuff. Yes, totally behind this steampunk sort of scrapbook vibe. I actually really love the print that's on the very top of this collection. I just love it. Then you've got the same thing with like music notes, green and yellows. Yes, Mary, these are just so yummy. And that's why they deserve to be taken out and shown, because I don't think that sometimes the thing does it justice, right? But take a look at this. Like, that is some like painterly masterpiece stuff. Okay. And then you've got this one, which at first I thought this was like a metallic sheen, but it's not. But again, you get that little bit of a sense of like old paper and just cool stuff. And then you've got this one. This one's cool because it's like the green one, but it's got like this sort of like rusty stripe going through it. This one has almost like a wine label-y look to it. So this collection is called Abandoned 2. There was an Abandoned 1. I did not think Abandoned 1 had this much color. So a lot of these, they had a lot less color in them. And it was more monochrome like this. But this combined with the colors is it's just magnificent. Okay. Like, look at that. Again, with the colors. Yes, Mary, that is so true. Like acid burn. Yeah. A lot of like color wash, peeling paint kind of feel, you know. But like the colors are just really neat. Now this one I think is they called this like the tartans. So these were like plaids almost. But yeah. So as you know, Tim Holtz is primarily in the yes. Yes. I mean, look at this one here. Look at this like orangey sort of wild newspapery print plus it's just I could not this one, like I said, had more colors in it than the last collection, and I just really really like it. So, and then this one has almost like a mosaic tile field mixed with like somewhat crocodile. I don't even know. Like, so this collection, we have this one in stock. This one is 10 pieces. And um so this is the Tim Holtz eclectic elements. $39 for this collection, 44 for the Tula Pink. Couple of different, really like different looks. I wouldn't necessarily say they go together, but they might. Sort of matrixy on this. Yeah, 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 yeah. Yeah, it's got that sort of look. Just I just think it's really cool. So again, the Eclectic Elements collection, and I have to say, like, there is a certain art to putting these fabric bundles together, and when you see this one on top, then you're like, oh yeah, now I get it. That one is worth, that one's it. And then the one on the bottom. And I always have to, like, I always am impressed or whatever as to who picks, like, how do they pick which one goes on the bottom and which one goes on the top? Because, it's always kind of a thing. And so anyway, we've got these two collections in stock right now. And both of these are on our website, and you can grab them right this moment. And I would suggest that you do that because they're not going to last long. And there's only so many of them, right? So you're going to want to get this little Yummo pack or this little Yummo pack. And again, if you were to put it with, like, I like always to have like the gray or the black background here on my table, but you can see that black white would look amazing with this one, and same with this. Now, there are a lot of patterns out there that call for 10 fat quarters. Both of these collections would be perfect for that, and both would make a very different quilt from the other. So these two lovelies are now in stock, and you should get them because they're there, and you should buy them. So again, don't know what's going on with my camera. It keeps freezing because, of course, there's always it's always something, like the internet, it's always something. Okay, so yeah, anyway, that's what we've got with this one, and we're kind of excited about it. Let's see here. Okay, so it kind of does, if it does kind of look like that to me. I would say it does. Tula Pink looks like Lily Pulitzer. Yeah, I can see that. Yay, Marion! I'm coming your way. I'm very excited. Very, very, very excited to see everybody this week. So, yeah, lots going on, my friends. What in the heck? So, let's talk about the Tuffet bit because I did an awful lot of work on the Tuffet thingy, and we're like so close. So this is like my travel bag that I've been using lately. I really dig these bags, and they're really not expensive. And we're looking at getting some with our logo on it. So, you know, there's that. Okay. Pins hitting the floor. I can hear it. Good thing that I have my pin picker to grab all of these pins that I just heard them all hit the floor. So I'm going to pick them all up. See how this thing expands? I love it. Look at this. I'm going to get these. I don't even have to move. I don't have to get up. I just got to make sure I just sweep over the floor with my little thingy. And there you go. And pins. I love it. Yes, so don't forget you can pick up your pin picker in our shop. It's a handy tool. It's my husband's favorite tool in the shop. Okay, so we've got a lot going on this table here. Okay, so here's I'm going to talk about this thing in a second. It is not an ice tongs. These are not ice tongs. That's the first thing my husband said. Are those for ice, like picking up ice, like old-fashioned ice tongs? And I'm like, no, this is a turning tool. And it's actually based on an actual old vintage turning tool. So we're going to talk about that in a moment. So here are, there goes another pin. It just hits the floor, and now I gotta go fetch it. This is the handiest tool of all, I'm telling you. You gotta get one of these. Okay, so here's all of the tabs that I have made so far, and I'm trying to see how many I need to make all together. But if you remember last week, we talked about how these, you would cut them out from your fabric and then turn them right side out. And there is, to me, a right and a wrong side to these little tabs. So essentially, because there are 3 layers and a and a batting, like, so there's a front, a back, and a batting in there. These are technically little mini quilts, okay, and they're really mini. And I do have a bunch of different sizes here, so I've got to go through and like sort out the different sizes, the different kinds, because I made some that have like a ribbon ending, and some that are sort of ovally shape on the bottom, and some that are pointy. And the pointy ones have 2 different kinds, so I've got to make sure I separate them. You know, because that ended up being a thing. I changed my template design about halfway through, so you know that's always something that I'm known to do. I'm like, you know what, I don't like this design. I'm going to go do a different one. And so I don't know if you can kind of see it, but there's 2 different styles here. So we just need to make sure that they all go where they should. And I did spend a lot of time turning each one of these right side out, which I'm going to talk about in a second as well. I did use the turning, or the quilt stick a lot last time, and I actually changed that process to using this ice tongue looking thing. So I'm going to talk about that in a second here. Let me get all these sort of sorted here. We're getting there. Um, we've got uh these crazy ones with the ribbon endings, and then we've got the pointy ones, and then we've got like sort of rounded ones. They're kind of all over the place. Um, and I feel like I felt like at one point when I was doing this at home, that they never ended. Like they just kept going and going and going, and that they just didn't ever stop. And so, you know, that's how it be sometimes. So we've got all of these little guys, and we've got these little guys. Okay. And as you can see, I made them in two batches. So we've kind of got like these more rounded ones, and then we've got like these more ovally kind of shape, and then we have the pointy tabs, and then we've got these sort of ribbon ended ones. And there's two pointy kinds, okay? Because there's one with like a shorter end and one with like a longer end. Now I will say that this tool became quite handy in turning all of these bad boys, because hoo-wee, were there a lot of them. And this little device is pretty amazing. So here's how you do it: is you just clamp it onto whatever it is you are trying to turn. So in this case, this is how they started. Remember, they were sewn with the batting on the outside, right sides together, batting on the outside, sew around your shape, clip your curves, and then what you do is you throw this onto the cup end, okay? Because you've kind of got a cup end and a pointy end. Do you see that? Okay, so you've got the cup end, and you throw that cup end in there, and you clamp it shut, and then you just pull, and voila. I mean, the turning could not get easier, and it also pushes out all of the pointy points, which is amazing because this is so rounded, okay? It's not going to push through the point of your fabric. So, collars, cuffs, tubes. Yes, you can turn tubes with this. This tool is really fantastic. And honestly, thank you, Mary. I did not invent it. It's old, and these are reproductions. And my friend Sue O'Very, she is the one who picks up ice and allows you to turn fabric inside. It's not an ice pick. Um, okay, you know those folks who would go and they would pick up use this thing to carry a block of ice. This is not it. But it's a turning device, and it's fantastic. And it has all of this room here so that you can get into places that would, like, you if you had a lot of bulk of fabric to get through, this would allow you to get into like a big puffy thing, to accommodate a lot of fabric. And then also you can get a long tube by scrunching it all up. Okay, you can get it on here, clamp it, and then pull it, and then you'll be able to pull it to the other side. It's just a really cool tool. And I am looking to get these for our website. You might want to look through your sewing tools, because some of you have one of these and you don't know what it is. Okay. So look through your old sewing tools, look through your old, your old other stuff, because this thing's cool. Um, and it's a turning tool. So that's how I turned all of these. Now, what we need to do is start pinning these to see how many I need to make. And so here is the top part uh of the tuffet, and this is where you basically just start layering on your pieces, and you want to try to make them as super even as possible along this end. Okay, the end, that side. Now it does look like you should start here, but that is not how this works. You should actually start way down here. And so if you remember this whole process, okay, these two marks, they're hard for you to see probably, but there they are. Okay, there's two marks here. That is the bottom edge that gets turned under the tuffet. So we need this row to end right there. And that's what we're going to be doing. We're going to be putting this row together. And so we've got some pins and we've got some tabs, and we're just gonna get started because you have to overlap them like so. Okay, you don't overlap them the other way. And so this is going to tell me how many more of these that I have to make. And there is a right and a wrong side. And I started to tell you this earlier. So the right side that should be up, okay, is going to be the side that has the batting on it. Okay, so you can see that, like, in one of these sections, you can see the batting is on one side and there's nothing on the other. The batting side should be upwards. And that is going to determine the side that is facing facing up. And the reason for that is because the other side, if you can kind of see it, and you can kind of see it here, you'll see that you can almost make out the seam allowance, and we don't want that on the top side of the piece. So what we're going to do is we're going to put one each on each end, and that way we're going to fill in the middle, and they're all going to, like, evenly come close to these two marks. So I'm always checking to see which side is up, and then I am placing them in place and I am pinning them. Now, what's going to happen when I am done pinning across here is I'm going to sew a line, and then that line is going to be covered by the next layer. But I'm just putting these in like a temporary place so that we can figure out how many more of these I've got to make, because like this amount is kind of a beast. It's kind of a lot of room to cover, but also we're trying to see how they will look, because we've got different like different shapes and different materials going on here, or not different materials, but different sizes and lengths going on here as well. Okay, so we're just trying to make sure that we put each of these in place. And we also need to make sure that they're like scooched up to each other in the proper way and all of that. These ended up being 1 inch across. And then we're going to, look at that, boom. Put in the next row. And we're going to see just how much we're going to need to overlap for the next row. So this is where I get to play. I get to decide what other shape I want on that next one. And yes, one of these is going to get cut off. And when this seam is sewn, there's going to be some caught in the seam allowance. And that is just how it's going to be. So I've got more pins. You just got to get them out. And you can see that this one is much longer than the other ones. So it's but the tab itself is not necessarily that much longer. It's just I made some of them really long and some of them really short. And you're just going to have to like figure out like where you want them to overlap and where you want them to not overlap. As you can see, I offset this a bit. And I am still double checking for making that one end on top. The side with the batting is towards the top. Now, when it comes time to sew these, I'll sew them in the other direction where they will go the other way. Now, there is a reason that I have chosen this sort of obnoxious design. I at first, like, Charlie calls these dragon scales. I do not necessarily see dragon scales, but he said that he does. I guess I can see it. I do. This pin is really bent. I usually take a lot of care to throw all my bent pins in the trash. But I did not do that in this particular pin cushion. So there you go. I really am just trying to get a sense of how many more I need to make. I'm not really placing these permanently. Again, you always got to check for which side the batting is on. It's so easy to mess that up. And then, like, another thing I should do is also trim all of these so that they're the same size before I pin them back down. That will be another thing. Okay, so what I'm going for is to just sort of eyeball, like, how much I want these to lay over the top of one another, if that makes sense. Yeah, so hang on. I am falling off the edge of my chair. Ugh. There we go. This chair isn't the comfiest. Used to be the chair in my old office. I would sit on this chair every day, all day. I had a different chair, and oh my gosh, it was so uncomfortable. That I actually felt like I injured my tailbone all the time just by sitting on it. But yeah. All right, so I've got a little packet of pins here. Now somewhere I've got a whole mess o' pins, right? I've got more pins than I know what to do with. but there, of course, like a lot of my good pin cushions are in storage and not here and not in the building. And of course, I keep opening new pin packages, so that's always another thing. And so on. And so it goes. So we're just kind of using these first two rows, just trying to get them pinned into place. I don't think I'm going to do that for the whole thing here, but I am going to just start now. So this is to show you like just how this will be on the tuffet. So you can see that what will happen is there will be a stitched row under here that will be invisible. Then there will be a stitched row here that you won't see because then the following row covers that up. And so you get kind of this. Now these I think are cool because they actually will like split the two, the layer below, like that. Just kind of neat. Again, um you get to play with that shape at the bottom of the at the bottom of these tabs. And this is again just to I spent a lot of time last week making these tabs, and of course I'm like, sure hope this is enough. And as I was making them, I'm like, I know it's not enough, but we will try. So that's that row. Now again, it really does, I can move these down so that they're equidistant from the bottom of the tab from the previous ones, but that's pretty good for eyeballing it. Right. So then yeah, and then it's just, a matter of placing the next row, which I'm not going to do the whole ends and everything, but I am just going to try to eyeball here. Now, as far as these like going onto this project, I'm pretty happy with how many I've made. I do have to make more though. I can just tell you right now. I can already see that I do not have enough. And it is this area where there is the most. There's going to be more on the bottom body of the piece than anywhere else. Okay, so that's 4 rows. So now we're coming up on this area where we have this part where it's about to go into the curve of the tabs. And we want these. I do think this is cool. When this is all like done, it's going to be amazing. I love these quirky little shapes. I really do. Quirky little shapes. That's so then, again, sometimes you got to look to see which side is the fabric or the batting side to make sure that you're putting it together right. Or you will be really sad once you put it in the wrong spot. All right, so there's the this looks really neat. It does. It's getting there. Okay, but see, this is the part where it's going to start to um this is the part that curves right here. All right, and I can already tell you I do not have enough of any particular shape, but you can kind of see, well, see that one. We gotta go back to these ones. Okay. And it does look like I need to make these a little bit longer. Um, like if they were long like this, that would be ideal because again, this is the part that's going to curve over the edge. So I'm going to need to make sure that these are longer. But you get the idea of what we're going for. And then, we've got probably enough of this one to do the real row. No, actually, I don't. I can tell. Plus, there's like one or two that are kind of misshapen, so I would like to redo them. Um, but you get the sense here now of like, this is why I am doing this, right? Is because I need to figure out how many more I need to make. You know. So, all right. So we're getting there. Oh, did I do that wrong? I did. These ones don't go next. These ones go next. I mean, if you're gonna do it in order, keep the order going. Yeah, and that's it. All right, so that's all I have. But it looks like I have the bottom section like pretty good. It's just this top area, and just so that you can see, I probably have, I don't know. I'm looking at the ruler here, and it says got about, it's like 11 inches, 12 inches, but it tapers. So from like a standpoint here of how many I really need to have, I don't really need a whole lot. Yeah, Mary, it does look like I'm really close. Yeah. Um, so, just gonna grab myself a piece of paper. Do. All right. And so I would say we've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and we'll go and say probably that same row gets repeated here. So we'll need 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, probably 12 V shapes. We need 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Let's say 10 because you just never know. And then we need probably 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. We'll say 5 of the ribbon end. And 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. We'll say, let's say 8 of the short V. 1, 2, 3. So we need 1, 2, let's say 4 of this short U. So not a whole, I was pretty close. Mary's right. Jody, this is for our a quilted tuffet. Is it quilted? It's not really quilted. It's a fabric manipulated tuffet, which I will show the rest of the pieces here in a moment. Each section of this tuffet has different fabric manipulation techniques on it. And this section is going to have these fabric tabs. Now you can see I've moved it, so some of these other ones have like gotten messed up. Actually, that looks kind of cool too. But they're going to be more orderly like this, okay? And as you see here, they're just pinned, and then and they will just be stitched. Just a stitch, zoop, and you have to kind of start at the bottom and work your way up. But I do have a method to my madness when it comes to making these shapes, and I have this part I felt was the hardest, was to come up something to make them all consistent, because I mean that's what you need, right? Is you want all of these to be like the same V shape, right? If I just eyeballed it, they wouldn't be the same. So I am using a template to make them. So yeah. So now we've got like the Jody. Yes, welcome to Paducah. I will say we're going to be closed Saturday through Tuesday because I'm off teaching. So just so you know. But now we've got how many of these we need to make, and that's pretty cool. Which this is a lot fewer than I thought I would have to make. So we've got, we do have more of an oval shape, and then we do have more of like a rounded shape. So yeah, you should totally go to the stores. Awesome. Thank you, Jerry. I do appreciate it. So this whole thing, very close, right? And this is the last section we need for our tuffet. So the tuffet is almost done. So I'm gonna roll these up, pack into the bag, pins and all, and remember, part of that whole process is keeping that that batting side up. That's gonna make them all the same puffy wise. It's in my wheelhouse, it seems. It is. And can I just say that, like, part of the as we showed last week, the curved scissor made a huge difference in cutting each of these little tabs. So they're going in there as well. The turning tool, huge difference. I am working on getting these into the shop, so do not fret. These will be coming. We did. Yeah, I'm just really pleased with how this tuffet has turned out. So let me show you how this looks, because this getting this tuffet done, what have we been working on this now? Has it been like 6 weeks? We've been talking and doing this tuffet stuff. And for those of you that don't know, a tuffet is exactly what it sounds like. It's an ottoman, or as my husband had to go look it up, a short low seat. Like Little Miss Muffet sat on her tuffet. That's what this is. And I still have it here from last week. So let me try to get this without falling off the chair. No, I'm not going to be able to do that without falling off my chair. I'm going to have to stand and get it. Ugh. It's huge. It's actually bigger. It's so much bigger than I thought. Oh gosh, there's pieces on the floor. Well, that would be why I didn't have enough. Okay, so no, there's only a couple pieces. All right, here is the tuffet. As you can see, we're making this blank spot, which is going to be all of the things. But we have the pleats, yo-yos. We did a whole couple of episodes on this one. We have more pleats, little flower rosettes, ruching, smocking from my book, and rouleau. And then the empty spot. And the empty spot is what we're working on. And as you can see, some of the pieces, I went a little overboard and made a little bit longer than I needed to. So there's that. But eventually, all of these. So we did talk about the piping. We are going to be putting a piping in between each section so that they get a little bit of definition. Thank you very much. I appreciate that. So they're each going to get some definition, and so this is actually put together with a pattern from a company called the Tuffet Source, and they sell these kits, and these are the panels that make the tuffet sections, and then you sew each section to itself, and that's and then that becomes the big slip cover for this giant tuffet mold. Yeah. Oh, yay, 4-H kids love their mini scissors. Yay! Rachel, my friend Rachel, works for 4-H here in Paducah, and she works with the robotics camp and the robotics team. And aren't you guys you guys are competing this week, right? In Virginia. And so they took some stuff with them, and the mini scissors, which you can get from us as well. These are on our website. They're great travel scissors. They've got this silicone rubbery thing, and man, do these cut well for what they are. For these tiny, look at these tiny little scissors. They're little. Come on. There we go. Look at how tiny they are. But they cut really well and very nicely for being such small. These little travel scissors are in every single one of my sewing kits. They're everywhere. I put them everywhere. So that's awesome. Right. So don't forget, new bundles of fabric just came in. We've got the Tim Holtz eclectic elements. These are amazing. Look at that. Sort of grungy stuff like that. Yes, Mary. Tiny but mighty, just like my store. And then we've got the Tula Pink. Look at those like yum rainbow colors with that little pop of like green there in the middle. Just so good. Both of these fabric bundles just came in. Get them while they're hot. And then yeah. So did we talk about fabric coming in? Cuz there's a lot coming in. Like so much. We've got I almost said Christmas fabric. It is not Christmas fabric time. but it is Halloween fabric time. And Halloween fabric time is May, June. And we are right there. We're right there at the precipice of fabric for Halloween. Right there. So excited. We have some of the cutest Halloween fabrics coming in. You're not going to want to miss it. I don't know when exactly they will be here, but they are this close. Just letting you know, I keep picking this up like there's going to be tea in it, and there's not. This weekend, I'm teaching at the Quilt Museum. All bat fabrics. You know, there are some cute bat fabrics coming this year. But last year was the bat fabric. Last year I said it was elegant goth. I feel like this year is also elegant goth, but also whimsical goth. I don't know. Can you have both of those? I don't know. I yes is the answer. I think this year's Halloween fabrics are very adorable. A lot of purple in this year's Halloween. A lot of purple. So I know that typically we see like an overabundance of orange and black. This year, a lot of purple. So yes. I have to say one of my favorites is the panels that are coming in. We've got a really cute, we have the one panel you've already seen. But the next panel is super cute. What I really need to do in the future is buy an extra bolt of each of the panels that we're getting in, because we get in the panels and they just they fly right back out. And so I get them. I don't even get a chance to make a sample because they're just like gone. So yeah, I mean, and that doesn't do you or me any good, because if it sells fast, I could have sold more. You know what I'm saying? And so there's that. Yeah. That's what I've got for you, my friends. I'm very excited. This is going to be a crazy long weekend. So tomorrow, teaching at National Quilt Museum. Day after that, driving to Chicago and teaching in the Chicago area for 2 days. So we will be closed until Wednesday. Wednesday we will be back open from 10 to 4. Can I also say it's been really hot and gross, and it's May. Why is it in the 80s in May? Like, ew. Can we just take it down a notch? Okay, for my menopause, because I'm dying. I'm really overheated all the time. So as you can see, it's humid and icky. I agree. Can we just have a normal, non-gross summer? You know, what do they say, hot girl summer? I want cool, dry heat summer. I want a dry heat summer. My friends, I'm going to go. I hope you have a fantastic weekend. Hopefully you get a chance to get some sewing done this weekend. I know I'm going to. Hopefully I see all of you next Friday. Take care of yourselves. Have a wonderful week. Or we just skip summer and go right to fall. Amen. Yes. Yes. Thank you. Thank you, Joy. Thank you, Mary. Thank you, Jody. Thank you guys for coming. I appreciate it. Thank you for sticking around. See all of you next Friday. Take care of yourselves. Bye-bye.